it's J.M.Wong and again welcome to another video! So it has been a long time since I did my last Jolly Molly talk, and I have very good reasons for this. First, it's because if you have checked out my previous videos, you know that I've been on a 1 month long graduation trip in the UK. So mostly my videos have been posting the vlogs that I have taken during that trip. Well, the second reason for this is because I wanted to use these last few weeks of my last summer holiday as a student to complete a project that I have been working for 5 years. And the result is this. So yes, I wrote a book! So yes, I wrote a book, and it is, well, I can't tell you the content of this book right now because I'm currently looking for a publisher and an agent to, hopefully can represent my work. And I might also consider the options of self-publish, but at the moment I won't tell anyone about it because if you have experience with agents or publishers, a lot of them do not want your work to be published on any, social media or internet, or yeah. So probably at the moment I won't be sharing the content of this book to you guys, but if I do have the chance or if I decided to self-publish, I would definitely tell you guys about it. But if I want to briefly tell you guys what it's about, it is a fantasy novel, and it's one of my favorite genre, the fantasy genre, and it's focused on urban fantasy. And yeah, it's basically magic, witches and wizards, something like that. And yeah, and even though this story stands on its own, it belongs to a series that I plan to write to complete, and the series has, wait for it, 13 books. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but I plan to write the series, to complete this series that has 13 books in it, at least. Probably more, I'm not sure. And you're wondering, how can you complete 13 books if you take 5 years to complete this novel? Well, that is why I made this video. It is to warn you guys, or tell you guys about the mistakes that I've made throughout this process of completing this novel that prolongs everything. And I want to share these mistakes with you guys so you won't do the same thing. Mistake 1. Do not go for the idea that doesn't stick in your mind. So this is what I did. I had so many ideas for this book that I want to write. And I basically, when the ideas come to me, I just start writing and spend so much time onto it. And then later on, in the middle of the story, I realized, well, this mistake, this idea isn't interesting anymore, or it doesn't, work anymore. And then I just suddenly had to stop and then go for another idea. And it goes on and goes on with the same situation until in the end I find this idea that helped me to complete this book. But in the process, I've spent so much time in finding this perfect idea that I could continue. So how can you, decide which is the perfect idea for you to write? Well, go for the idea that sticks in your mind after a month. After a month, look at this idea again, and ask yourself, are you interested in it? Can you think of new things you can add into it? Can you expand it? Can you see it in your mind even after 1 month? So this is pretty much the idea that sticks in my mind for such a long time. It doesn't go away and even enters my dream. While other ideas that I have ends up being, never had an ending. It stops in the middle and I just got bored of it and stopped writing. That's why I have all these stories that never has an ending for it, because I kind of got bored of the idea and it appears so absurd when I come in the middle and I just feel like I can't continue anymore. Look at this. It looks so perfect until here. It just stopped. Look at all the pages left. And this is a comic that I tried to write. This story, this doesn't even get through, I don't think, 10 pages? No. But for this novel idea, or this series, I managed to complete this amount of paper, the whole book. I complete the whole book just for this story concept. So you can see the difference. If you think this idea really works, you can probably write a whole book out of it. But if you think this idea doesn't work, well, you kind of stop in the middle. And this sticks in my head for such a long time. So you're looking for the right idea, look for the one that never gets you bored. Now, the second mistake. When I first started this novel, I didn't write an outline for the story, which makes it so difficult for me to find the constancy. between the plots, the contents, between chapters after, the third draft, which is a disaster because I had to delete a whole paragraph or even change a whole chapter because suddenly I just realized, hey, chapter 10 or chapter 7 doesn't match with chapter 1. Oh no! So, if you want to avoid this mistake, definitely do an outline first so that you have a clear mind. You have a clear planning of your whole story that doesn't cause you to find inconsistency at near the end of completing this story. Trust me, I had so much experience on this. I had to, if you look at here, these are all the drafts I had. Every time I think I'm near the end, I'm almost near the end of the story, I can finally complete the story, I just suddenly realize I had to do it all over again because the things in chapter 6 doesn't match with chapter 2. So remember to do an outline. Make an outline before you start writing in order to save so much paper and money. So yeah, this is the second mistake. Now, the third mistake. I believe this mistake is specifically for people like me who treats English as a second language instead of a first language. Well, for people like us, sometimes when we write in English, we come to a point, a frustration, a block, where we couldn't find the perfect word or phrase to add to our description of a character, object, or a scene, which makes us so frustrated that we want to stop. Well, the mistake I made is that I started with the description, and therefore at some point I just find it hard for me to move on to the next scene and prolongs the whole process of writing this novel. Then near the end of completing this novel, I find a perfect way to help myself to move on faster, which is by starting with the dialogues. So start writing the dialogues first before writing the description. Here is an example that I made. So I have the character's name here. This is a short form, and then I have the dialogue here. So with the dialogues here, you can pretty much know what's happening for that scene, for that paragraph, and you don't have to add a lot of description for this at the moment if you can't think of it. And when you do, you can write it next to it. See, these are the description that I write it next to it. And where do you find this inspiration? Well, very simple. As a lot of writers have said, read books, read a lot of other novels, or watch TV dramas, a lot of just get in touch with English as much as possible, and then you can definitely find the right phrases for this description of scenes. But it takes time, right? But how can you move on while you are in the process of searching for these perfect phrases? Or just start with the dialogues, and afterwards when you find the perfect phrases into this, add into it. That's just simple. So I would probably stop at this 3 mistakes first because, well, these are the 3 mistakes that I personally find it really, really important. It might not be the same for you guys, so if there are other mistakes you think it's more important you want to share with us, do comment below. Now, I will probably share more things about my writing process in the future and probably make it my focus. If you have seen my previous videos, you know I have been searching my focus by doing a lot of other things. And to be honest, I never explicitly mentioned that I write. And the reason for that is because I didn't have the confidence to, and I don't think I am expert of something like this because I do not have a accomplishment on this matter. But now I do. I wrote a book. I can tell someone that at least I wrote a book. I can tell you how to complete a book that has 300 pages and more than 100,000 words. So yes, so I could give you guys some advice. So if you have anything related to completing a novel or writing a book, do comment below so I can answer them. I would probably do a Q&A section if you guys are interested. And thirdly, during my process of writing a novel, I've discovered so much stuff that it fills every pages of this Bible here. So during this process, I found so many interesting myths or legends or knowledge that I've never known. And I would really like to share them with you guys so you guys can be inspired too, like how I got inspired. And a lot of them are also from museums, things that I've seen in museums from my writing journal. And also, there would be something similar to story time where I would talk about some dreams that I had or some experience that inspired me for certain scenes in my novel, something like that. You know, certain things that inspired you to write a novel are usually very interesting and sometimes very creepy, I must warn you. So this is pretty much what I will be doing for for my channel in the future. I will focus more on writing or the process of writing, anything relating to writing, especially on writing the fantasy genre. So if you are interested, if you're new here, subscribe. If you're old here, keep subscribing. And if you like this video, remember to give a big thumbs up in it and always comment below and tell me about your thoughts. And yeah, this is pretty much the end. And thank you for watching. And as always, let's end this video by saying, remember to stop existing. What? So, God, it has been a long time. Stop existing, start living, and be alive. Bye!